definitely.
Tell me about your community. When did you start that? What was your idea?
Like last May, so when I started like BizNihongo, I initially started from community. Actually, I wanted
Mm,
to. I didn't know what I was gonna provide, so like I wanted to
yeah,
hear
same.
people, like what people thinking or going through. Also, having a community was like an interesting thing for me because I think it would be interesting to have a place where you can connect like people who have similar goals or
Mhm, mhm.
interests. So that's what I want. Why I wanted to do community.
Yeah, send me the link later. I'll join your next session or whatever.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because I need to study Nihongo too.
Yeah, you can practice Japanese as well. I think I should.
Where's the I don't know base of the like where do people come from? Like because you mentioned they're not really in Japan.
Yeah, if people. I mean, typically, if it's like held in the nighttime in Japan, it would be like they'd be from Tokyo or some people from Europe,
Mm.
and then have like a morning session, like people from the US can join. So I don't know what time to host. Like now, I think nighttime would be better for most people.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's global thing is so tough to coordinate the
Yeah,
time zones. So yeah, I guess you just rotate. Yeah,
yeah, I guess
yeah,
so. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
I wish I could like host more events in the community, but we only have like once a month event right now. It used to be like every week.
Wow.
You know, I yeah I need to do organized like thing, and you need to post about the community event. So yeah, I'm
I
doing
know.
once a month right now.
Yeah, that's enough for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you hosting that? Is that like LinkedIn or Meetup or?
I do have my own website, so like it's
Oh, okay, okay,
on our website. Yeah,
cool. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, I'll check that out after, or I can share your link. Well,
yeah. That would be great. Yeah, I want.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I was wanted to do something on my own as well. I didn't know. I don't know when or like how, but maybe like going abroad helped me like figure out
Mm.
or like have more courage or passion or possibility of like doing things other than just like working for companies for your life. And like in
Yeah.
Japan, it would be like and yeah, I think that was a big realization for me, I guess.
But before that, like, what made you want to go abroad anyway? That's a pretty big jump,
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
I went there for a travel, like just a trip. I went
Mm.
to Malaysia and Singapore.
Mm.
Then yeah, that was the first. I just stayed there for like 7 days, I guess.
Mm. Mm.
And yeah, I was like, because like 10, 20 years ago, Japan was like kind of secluded. There are not so many foreign
Mhm.
people coming to
Mhm.
Japan,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I could only like talk to Japanese people, and I only knew the Japanese people's like norms and expectations and what I should be. So that was like the good opportunity for me to like get out of that concept or break free from um those I guess.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. How old were you on that first trip?
I was like 13 years old.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's enough to really understand what's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I bring my kids abroad now, but they're young. 7, 8 years old, and they don't realize they're in a different country. Like it's
Yeah.
they're still
I
still
guess so. Yeah.
a little bit young. Yeah, but 13. Yeah, I think you can actually compare and
Hmm.
make your own opinions. That's
Yeah.
cool. So that was a turning point for you.
I guess so. Yeah. Then
Nice.
I was like doing something constantly even at uni.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you said you just came back, basically, right, to Japan.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like yeah. Now is I guess kind of another turning point. Yeah, you've had a life abroad, and now you're back here, and yeah. So like starting your company now, like you said, you always had the entrepreneurial mind, right?
Yeah.
But what's keeping you motivated, or what's pushing you to keep going this way? Because entrepreneurship
Yeah.
is not easy.
No, not at all. Yeah. I do enjoy talking to different people with different backgrounds. Like, I've actually like before I started, I've never met someone who are actually working for Japanese companies like who have high motivation, high enough to like just come to almost like business Japanese level and like I just yeah I see those people on YouTube, maybe like people who are fluent in Japanese, but as like I'm always amazed to see people's like dedication. And yeah, I love that perspective.
So, have you always wanted to teach? Was that something that's in you too? Because I feel like teaching is not something that's it's also not easy, right?
Yeah.
Teaching is not something people really think about as a dream or something when you're young, right? So, like, how did you get into that?
I guess like I try to like analyze like what was good at. You know, I was
Mm,
good at learning languages. So like I realized that that's something that I can help with people. And other than that, like I couldn't really come up with like something that I like that I can confidently say that I can help. So like that's like the way I started. But like I'm like in the future maybe like there's something bigger that I can do from this experience, I believe.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have all respect for teachers, and I've also done some teaching, and still my consulting is basically teaching too.
Mm,
So I, I I really have a lot of respect for people who choose to teach and people who actually enjoy that, you know,
mm.
that process because it's yeah, it takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, yeah. What I do is probably like coaching rather than teaching.
Mm,
Not teaching, I suppose. I mean, we go through some like grammar sometimes because business Japanese use like like decided forms or like
hmm
you
hmm
know you
hmm
probably
Keigo, I
know.
know. Mm,
So we have to go through that. Other than that, like if you are like working as a professional, like you probably know more about your work, your industry, like how people communicate, you know, communication style and all. So like there's not much for me to like teach, but like to just think together what kind of like communication that they can do, and figure out the path. You know, you don't have to be too polite. You know, you don't have to learn
that's good.
really difficult phrases like that Japanese, like all Japanese people use. So,
Hmm
like it's kind of like interesting because it's like this like consultation element to it. You know, how far you can go, how polite you want to go, how do you want to sound? Asking those questions. You know, it's an identity. Language is an identity, right? So,
Yeah, I love that. I love what you just said. Yeah.
yeah.
And because that's, you know, my Japanese journey is also very different, right? Like I never studied and I don't know Keigo.
Mm,
But like you said, you know, language is identity. So you know, I'm a New Yorker, and even in English, I always like to be casual. You know,
mm,
if I'm doing business, like I always keep, you know, the friendly, casual way. And I always feel like if I use Keigo or, you know, too polite, you know, textbook Japanese language, like I actually lose my own identity, right?
mm,
And I don't feel like I'm myself when I speak that way.
mm.
And so it's really interesting when I meet, you know, you know, customers or new businesses in Japanese. Nobody has ever told me like I need to, you know, speak more formal or I have to use mas or, you know, des or, you know, and like nobody's told me that. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing is that the people who study Japanese,
Mm.
they're the ones that tell me you have to
Yeah.
use the rules, that you have to follow the grammar, you have to study, you have to get the test. And
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, a lot of people miss the point of communication in a way. You know,
hmm 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 Mm,
I
yeah,
mean,
because
you
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
you
Yeah.
you could like have like a formal occasions. Maybe if you're talking to a large audience, then that'd be great. You have more opportunities. Maybe like in a way, but like you can always choose at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
Or
think.
yeah. No, because, you know, I always like to say that, you know, communication is the main thing, and language is just a small piece of communication. And, you know, if we're using English or Japanese or whatever language, like, it's
Mhm.
still just a tool for me to communicate, you know, what's in my
Yeah,
head. and what what we want to talk about, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like so much more, it's like nonverbal communication is important too, right? And like it doesn't matter if you have perfect grammar, but if you never smile in the conversation, is that good communication, right? Like so I always think there's more nuance to communication than just language and grammar.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, who is your customer? Like who are you coaching or teaching?
Yeah. People are located in the US, UK, and Japan, or maybe Europe sometimes. So they are typically working for Japanese companies.
Mm,
They already have Japanese, like solid Japanese foundation, and they want to, sound more polite. They want to increase the impression, or they want to be able to express their opinions with the Japanese. So yeah, those people that I help with. Yeah.
do you also help people like you? Like, the returnees, the Kikoko Shijo, like, I wonder.
Yeah, that's the questions that I get asked often, but I haven't told Kikokushijo, but I think it'll be
Really?
interesting. Yeah.
Do you know many?
Yeah, I do. I like
Oh, you
from
do? Okay.
university. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they want to study business Japanese or like, I mean, they feel like they might need to, like, if once they get into a company, because, yeah, that's like kind of expectation sometimes.
Yeah, because 'cause I've met a lot, of many of my friends are, or they became, the returnee. And, like they study abroad, they work abroad, for a couple of years, they come back to Japan. And I feel like there's always a big shift in their mindset or their
Mm,
experience or something, right? And a lot of them, I feel like, have the most potential to make an impact in Japan, but a lot
yeah.
of them kind of get lost when they kind of
Mm,
come back, right? And can you talk on that a little bit?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. For me, I could have almost like lost in a way,
Mm,
coming back. Like if I didn't take like entrepreneurship journey, like I would have, probably, I've also like taken interviews for Japanese companies.
mm,
I was gonna almost like, get into a company, but like, yeah, there's like definitely like an identity crisis among,
yeah.
um, Ryugaku
Mhm.
people who study abroad.
Mm, mm, mm.
Maybe they wanna. I think they're brave enough to do some, studying abroad. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
an unusual path, and going back to like the road that is like secured might not be intuitive for
Mhm.
them.
Mm, mm, mm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, maybe they also face the reality of, you know, they need stable income.
So what made it clear for you that, you want to stay non-traditional? You want to stay out of the system? Because you
Yeah,
said you were doing interviews, you were talking to companies, but what made you stay on this path and not the stable path?
yeah. During interviews, didn't feel like I was. Like, well, I was gonna do it for. I couldn't imagine myself doing it for a long time,
Mm, mm, mm.
or it didn't like click, I guess. So yeah, that's why I started my own
Well,
journey.
that no, I totally respect that, and I think the way things are going now too, like I really hope there's more people like you, because they realize like the old traditional way of lifetime employment, one company for 50 years. It is one lifestyle, but there are many other ways to
Yeah,
live and succeed and
mm,
grow.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm glad like you didn't shrink to fit back inside. Like you just kept yourself and kept going. Like I really respect that. That's brave also, I think.
Mm. Yeah. I think like there's a lot of yeah, it's like the things are changing a lot nowadays. With AI, and
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
lifetime employment is like completely broken in Japan. And also heavy social security, like, low income
mhm, mhm.
sometimes. Those kind of like factors actually, I think, push a lot of people to start
Yeah.
entrepreneurship journey, I guess.
Cool. Do you have friends around you that are also starting companies, starting businesses?
Yeah, actually, like the friends that I made in the UK, they're like some of them are like that. They want to start their own
Cool.
businesses. They get into a company first, you know.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives me hope. That
Yeah.
the youngest generation like you, like they have that energy and they have that you know that passion to keep going.
Mhm.
That's great. I'm happy, very happy to hear that. Actually,
Yeah. What advice would you give to like young entrepreneurs?
make new mistakes.
Okay.
That's the yeah, because entrepreneurship, freelance, like any like non-stable job, contract work,
Mhm.
there is no guide, there's no manual, like
Mhm.
how to get new customers, how to deal with the problems. Like you're learning everything in real time, and I think if you do get comfortable, then that means you stop growing.
Right.
And like it's kind of a weird like balance. It's like the goal is to get comfortable, right? So you can have stable income, so you can eat and pay your rent. But if you get too comfortable and you get stuck, then you're not really being an entrepreneur anymore. And
Mhm.
so I always think like just keep making new mistakes.
Mhm.
You're always gonna make. There's nothing is perfect ever, and especially when you're creating a business, like, you're always making mistakes. There's always problems. There's always challenges. And that's okay.
Right.
Making it the first time is fine,
Mhm.
and I think you have to. That's the best way to learn.
Mhm.
You make some kind of mistake, you lose money, you lose a customer. It's like
Mhm.
you don't want to repeat that, right? So you learn from that. You keep moving, and
Mhm.
just if you're continuing to grow, just keep making new mistakes. That's that's what I say.
Yeah,
That's
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 great
cool life.
advice. Yeah. I think like one of the reasons why people afraid of like starting their own businesses would be like making mistakes. And
Mm, mm.
yeah, I think a default to make mistakes.
That's normal, very normal. Exactly. And, because I think Japan has a lot of that, kind of perfectionist culture, right?
Mm.
And like, it's a test culture. It's like you have to do it
Yeah.
perfect. Like, don't make a mistake. Don't do that, right? And like, yeah, you see when you go abroad or you go a different country, and the cultures are different. And
Mhm.
exactly, like mistakes are default. And
Yeah.
yeah, like that's okay. That's natural, right? So
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, the Japanese mindset is, I think, yeah, it's quite strong. And whenever I try to think about my business, I try to think it in English rather than Japanese. Like
that's interesting.
yeah,
Huh.
because like whenever I try to like think in Japanese, it's kind of like trying not to like try to be safe. Like I don't know. I
No
have
risk.
yeah, kind of stuck in the mindset of Japanese. So like it's a great tool for me to like access like information or mindset in English. Yeah,
That is so interesting. So that is another way to use language as a tool, I guess,
yeah.
for your own self. I never thought about that. That's so cool. When did you realize that or get that ability?
I don't know. Like as I was doing my own business, I started to realize, it would be easier for me to think in English in terms um,
Mm,
maybe like your personality also changes when you're speaking different languages.
that's true.
Maybe it could be based on my past experiences. When I'm speaking Japanese, like I tend to follow other people. Then when I'm speaking English, I have to, be assertive and be more confident.
Mm, mm.
That's also another perspective that helped me
So
with mindset, I guess. Yeah.
that's really cool. So that's another big motivation for people to learn, or for Japanese people to learn a different language, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
is to
Absolutely,
change
yeah.
their mentality. Yeah, get different perspective.
Mm.
That's so interesting. That's I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
That's a really nice side effect.
Yeah, 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 I guess so. Yeah, like if you're thinking in one language, you always might have to you get stuck in that language, you know?
Mm.
You can be
But
outside.
so that's why I always think the Kikoku Shijo like have the most potential because yeah
Mm.
if you're getting stuck thinking in Japanese and you can switch to English, and then if you
Yeah.
get stuck in English like you can switch back, and
Yeah,
that kind of bilingual like balance, like you'll
yeah.
always find a solution or always
Uh,
find a new way. Really hard to get.